What's up, guys? So it is day 18. I just finished up at the Body Lab with my friend Rachel. She did some dry needling in the back of my shoulder to try to get my shoulder back in commission for bench. We did an adjustment. She worked on my hips a little bit with running, and then I did the Normatec on my legs for recovery, because this prep is all about recovery, because training as much as I am for what I'm doing is just not, without recovery, I would not be able to do everything. So everything's going well. I ran a 3-mile today. Tomorrow I have a 5-mile in deadlifts. And then on Saturday we have a 4-mile hike with the Marine Corps. So just keeping up with the mileage this week, hitting legs and giving my arms a break so that my shoulder can hopefully be better by next week or the week after. We'll see. Alright, welcome. So if you were here last week, thank you for tuning in again. And if you are new this week, thank you for joining me and kind of this recap of last week. So week 3 of training for my meet and marathon day, and projection of what next week looks like, in addition to a full kind of view on what my supplements look like and what my eating looks like right now, because that's a big part of my recovery in this process, is eating healthy foods, making sure I supplement my body appropriately, and making sure that I give my body the fuel it needs to make this prep a success. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Basically, week 3 was great. Everything went really well. The only thing that is still kind of off is that my shoulder is still out of commission. We're at the point where it's just an overtraining injury. Snowboarding just kind of exasperated maybe something that was already happening in there. So I'm seeing Rachel at the Body Lab, as you already saw, and I'm working on doing some exercises for that, as well as doing exercises for my hips, my legs, and making sure that I'm doing a little bit of rehab and stretching for just my entire body with this prep, because obviously a meet is very whole body training with squat, bench, and deadlift, and running for a half marathon is obviously just gonna like tax my legs a lot. So the biggest thing has been balancing that, making sure I get a lot of sleep, and making sure I eat the right things, put the right things in my body, and use the right supplements. So as for training, runs are going well. Tuesday I hit a 3-mile, Wednesday I hit a 4-mile, Thursday I hit a 3-mile, and then on Saturday we did a 4-mile ruck with the Marine Corps. So that went really well. Everything felt really good. As for squats are moving excellent. We're doing sets of 5 and 6 with pause squats and regular squats right now. I'm gonna move all those numbers above 250 next week. It's hard to get a feel for absolute strength when my legs are tired from the runs the day before, but I'm always doing my lifting before my actual runs, so hopefully that mediates some of that fatigue. Deadlifts, as always, feel phenomenal. We're going to move 350 for 5 this upcoming Friday, so they're moving really well, they're feeling really easy, and if I can just move a little bit past the fatigue that I feel in my legs when I do them, and make sure my body is lifting appropriately, my biomechanics are correct despite the fatigue, I don't mind moving as much as I can. So training's going really well. I have been really adamant about getting recovery in, so I think that's helping. But going into week 4, I'm really confident that I can continue this program and continue the volume that I'm doing, and I feel really good about it. So. Alright, so now we're going to go into a quick snapshot of what my supplements look like every single day. So, quick disclaimer, I am sponsored by BPN, Bare Performance Nutrition, so all of these supplements are going to be from BPN. I do have a discount code. If you use Built by Brooke, you can save 10% at checkout, but just so you know, I do have that sponsorship, so I'm a little biased in what I actually use. So to start on my day, I always start out with kind of like the pills that I take. So starting out, I do a fish oil. Start out with 2 of those. I use BPN Strong Joints just to kind of keep my knees healthy, and hopefully they'll help with my shoulder. I go into Strong Multivitamin just in case I need to touch up on if I'm lacking any nutrients in my actual diet. And I finish that out with vitamin D3 that I take every day. The weather in Nebraska in the winter is always a little bit gloomy, so I like to take that just to make sure that I kind of am getting my vitamin D. You know, I'm getting what I need to, even if the sun is not out, and I'm not getting outside as much. So start out my day with those 4. I take this with me to work, and I take it after I have breakfast. From there, I go into my strong reds and strong greens. So I have both of these guys. I ended up actually just mixing them together. I throw them in a shaker, and then I put them in my 6-pack bag when I go to work. So I mix both of those together, 1 scoop every morning. They help with digestion, they help with keeping your skin clear, they help with making sure you're getting all the nutrients from the reds and green foods you may not be eating. They cover my bases on micronutrients. I find that they help with recovery, and I also find that they kind of just help with bloating and just a lot of general stuff. So I like to take those. I have better energy throughout the day when I do. I just take those when I get to work, usually in the mornings. So that's right away, again, after breakfast that I have had already at home. So moving on from the day, usually in the afternoon I get kind of hungry, so I have an afternoon snack. That's where I have my protein shake. So my favorite from BPN is the whey protein, the Nutter Butter Blast. Absolute favorite. Second runner up would probably be the blueberry muffin. But I love this one, and I usually do about 1.5 scoops, which will come out to 25 plus 12 grams of protein. So I do that 37 grams of protein. I do that as like an afternoon snack, usually after lunch or something. Or if I go on a run while I'm at work, this will be immediately post-run. With that, I always mix creatine in with my protein shake. This is non-flavored, so you can just throw a scoop in. It really helps with your endurance and your power output when you're working in a powerlifting setting. Just overall performance increase as well. So that's something you can look into if you are not using creatine currently. Again, if I do a run at work, I'm going to take both of those immediately after the run just to make sure that I'm getting something in my body to fuel when you're in that catabolic state after an exercise. So from there, usually when I go into a workout, I'm doing, right now, obviously I have my runs that are sometimes during the day or in the afternoons. If I have a longer run that is over 3 or 4 miles, I always do the G1M Sport. It's basically like a salt and carbohydrate supplement to make sure that my body stays hydrated during the run and that I'm getting a few extra carbs, just to stay, keep my blood sugar up, make sure it's not dropping, and obviously it needs the salt for running and staying hydrated. So that's something that I'll do if I'm doing more than a 4-mile run. But if I'm just going to do a lift, I will be doing Intraflight. It's BCAAs during the workout, and then before the workout, I will put in some flight. This is basically just pre-workout. I need the caffeine usually in the afternoons because I usually lift at about 4:30 in the afternoon after being at work all day. And then if I'm doing arm day, I will also do endo pump just to kind of get my arms pumped up. If I'm doing endo pump, I usually wait until I'm halfway through my primary sets of bench because I don't want a big pump with doing bench sets that are going to be heavier. I want the pump to come when I am doing accessories after that. So that's kind of just a quick snapshot at what my supplements look like for the day. It seems like a lot, but every single one of these has a purpose. They have a plan in my diet and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the biggest one I use is protein. I do probably about 2 scoops a day, but all of these have some sort of part of my day, with the exception of G1M, which I use with those longer runs. So there's a look at my supplements, and next we'll move into what my food looks like for the day. Alright, moving into the last section, we're going to go through what a full day of eating looks like for me. So after getting up in the morning, I usually come in the kitchen, make a smoothie. That smoothie includes 2 servings of frozen spinach, and then a half serving of frozen strawberries, a half serving of frozen blueberries, 1 serving of the Simply Light orange juice, and 3 servings of liquid egg whites. So I blend that all together. Drink that. It's sweet because it has the fruits in it and you can't even taste the egg whites. It gets me just a quick hit of nutrients in the morning and some protein to just start my day off. So right after that, I usually make an egg or 2. I usually make about 2 eggs over easy, and then I put them on the 100 calorie whole grain English muffins. So starting off my day, I usually start out, all that added together usually doesn't even come up to like 450 calories just for breakfast. So I do all of that before I go to work. I usually make a cup of coffee and then get out of here and go to work. After getting to work, I go into kind of my first meals of the day around 11 a.m. So I have my 6-pack bag. Usually on this side, I pack out my reds and greens. So reds and greens are in here right as soon as I get to work. My reds and greens and my supplements. I take those, and then after that, around 11 a.m., I go into my first meal, which is going to be here. Basically, this is just 5 ounces of ground turkey and 100 grams of rice. So that's all I usually have for that first meal. After that, I usually do some sort of lunchtime run, which is usually a 3-mile run at lunch. Right after that run, I do my protein shake, which is going to be on this side. So that's 1.5 servings of protein with the creatine. After that, usually around 1:30, 2 o'clock, I go into my second meal, which is actually still in here. It's another serving of 5 ounces of ground turkey and 100 grams of rice. Outside of that, I usually get a little bit hungry, so I like to snack at work. I usually do these like 150 calorie balance breaks kind of snack packs. They're just kind of like a little bit of a snack with some cheese and nuts and stuff like that. I also do an apple every single day, and I usually do a serving of celery and a serving of carrots every day with some peanut butter. So that's what everything looks like up into from breakfast to my first lunch, my second lunch, and some snacks in between while I'm at work. I'm usually at work until about 4 o'clock, and from there I go straight to the gym. At the gym, I have my pre-workout, my intra-flight, and then after the gym, I come home and I usually make whatever I'm hungry for that day. So sometimes it'll be a healthier version of tacos, maybe a healthier version of a pizza, things like that. It's always something that is going to fit my macros, and it's always something that works with what I ate earlier in the day. And since this all stays the same almost every single day of the week, it's really easy to have more flexibility with my dinner and what I actually have there. Now, coming from somebody who's a coach and also an athlete, I change it up on the weekends. So Saturdays, I still eat pretty healthy and I track my foods. However, on Sundays, I don't track at all. I get that day of freedom to kind of just mindfully eat, make sure I'm eating enough, but I'm not overeating. I really try to focus on getting protein in. That's kind of one of the bigger ones. But the big thing now, again, like I said before, is balancing recovery. And the healthier I eat, the better my body's going to be fueled and the better I'm going to recover. So this is all really, really important. And that's why I try to eat the same thing every single day of the week and then have a little bit more freedom on Fridays. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Next week we'll be doing another video. We'll do a week 4 recap, kind of see how this week goes, what we're going to do in week 4. It's going to be a good week. There's a lot of miles that are going in this week, so we'll see how my legs keep up with that. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.